What is up, football fans, and welcome back to Play Action Takes, Apollo Media's NFL podcast. Week 2 was a dud for this podcast. Week 3 could be half better. I don't know. We're recording this on Thursday, September 18th. Shout out to our sponsors, Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. They got Michelada mix, Margarita mix. They got all the things with Zing Zang. Shout out to them, Zang responsibly, and shout out to Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. If you're going to be watching football this Sunday, I suggest heading to Big City Wings in Houston. They've got 14 locations across the greater Houston area. They got the best wings, best people, and best beer in town. Head to Big City Wings this weekend. I'm your host, Stone Strankman, joined always by Kush Patel. How we doing, brother?
We're doing great. Look, I think your team has kind of lost all hope.
It's over.
But here in Houston, we still have a smidge of hope, so we're going to get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, Thursday Night Football. This is coming out on Friday, so we don't really know what happened yet. But we got a big company deal happening starting next week. We got a little bit of bonus bets with them, and we're gonna have some fun with that. But I immediately went in and hit more than on interceptions for Tua, and then decided what else I would do with it. It's inevitable. Tua might get hurt this game. Who's to say? This guy stinks. The Dolphins stink. It's Thursday Night Football. This is the Thursday Night Football that I'm used to. Bad football game.
Yeah, the Bills might win by 50. I don't think that's like, out of anybody's stretch of imagination right there. But yeah, I mean, but I will say, I heard Matt Milano and Ed Oliver are out this game.
Yeah,
that may keep the Dolphins in it for like 1 or 2 series, but I mean the reigning MVP is on the Bills. Probably going to put up over 300 yards passing. Probably going to run the ball pretty well on you guys. And yeah, Dolphins fans, I just don't see how you guys have any hope. Probably going to be 0-3. And yeah, I mean, what more can I say on the Dolphins, man?
Surprisingly, the spread is only minus 11.5 on this game for Buffalo. I don't know how. I know Ed Oliver, Matt Milano, they kill the Bills, but we've lost to the Bills with those players out, specifically those two. They've missed games, and we've lost those games. So, yeah, I'm going to watch it. I put all my Dolphins stuff in a drawer, hats, shirts, jerseys, all the things, all in a drawer, tucked away in my closet, so I don't have to see it until next September. I'm not pulling. The only one that stayed out, Dan Marino, because it's not his fault.
That's a pretty good one.
It's not his fault, so he can stay out in the closet in normal hanging fashion. But yeah, Thursday Night Football, I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to be excited about it. We probably won't talk about it next week. Who's to say? But we'll move on to the good matchups that we've got this week. We've got a divisional matchup with your team, Texans-Jags, 12 p.m. on Sunday. Can you guys right the ship? I know Garrett and Dez did Off the Gridiron, our Texans podcast. Shout out to them. Go listen to them if you haven't already. If you're a Texans fan, they're going to give you all the Texans stuff. We're going to do a little bit here on this show, but they'll give it to you the whole way. Garrett mentioned that you're 2 games out, really, game out. Like if you win this one, win the next one, then you're right back in business. You're at 500. You've got 2 divisional wins under your belt. Texans-Jags is always an interesting game. It's always kind of ugly. Like you had that kick return, was it last year before, by like a fullback out of nowhere? Like you can get weird things that happen in this game. I'm interested to see how this Texans offense kind of bounces back from playing 2 pretty good defenses. We didn't know the Bucs defense was going to be good. Turns out they're pretty decent through 2 games. Can you do something against the Jags, and can you disrupt Trevor Lawrence because he's a turnover machine and your defense is really good? Can you stop the run against Travis Etienne? Who's to say? I'm interested in this game. What are your thoughts as a Texans fan?
I mean, dare I say, is this a must-win game or else your season's over? Some would say that. But like you said, crazy things have happened in this matchup. I mean, if you just go back to last year, the home game, I think it was week 3 at home, we had the Jaguars. The Texans kind of like drug their feet through that entire game and then somehow found a way to win at the end. It took Trevor Lawrence throwing a couple interceptions, not playing that well. And then, yeah, I mean, I think this game is all about, C.J. Stroud has been a huge topic of conversation so far in this NFL season, the short season that we've had so far. And, I mean, I'm going to say it again, like, teams are kind of have the book on him now. They know what he doesn't do well, what he does do well. and they know they can get pressure on him because of the offensive line. So, in this game, I expect the Jaguars, who have been a pretty good defense so far, all things considered. I think they're gonna throw the kitchen sink at C.J. Stroud again, like the Bucks and the Rams have done so far, and then we'll see how C.J. Stroud handles it and how Nick Caley and D'Amico Ryans kind of adjust their game plan. Christian Kirk is coming back in this game, so that might be a big impact player for the Texans offense. And then defensively, I think you just got to force Trevor Lawrence into some mistakes, because he's going to throw some interceptions. But then at the same time, you also know he's capable of shredding your defense. And then I think the third storyline that everybody's kind of watching out for ever since last year is Azeez Al-Shaair probably not going to get a a great welcome in Jacksonville this time around after what happened last year.
Yeah, this game's always just funky. Like, something weird's going to happen for either team or both teams, honestly. The thing I'm looking at the Texans is, can C.J. Stroud have enough time to throw the ball? Adding Christian Kirk into the mix may help you, may not. You wanted your rookies to step up. They haven't so far. Still no Braxton Berrios, who, as a Dolphins fan, he was a safety blanket a lot of the time. On drag routes, curl routes, like just random things. Like, Braxton Berrios has sure hands and can get open relatively. And he'll catch the ball if it's in proximity to him. You're still out for another week with him. I think he'll come back week 4, unfortunately for you guys. So can you get open? Can you give C.J. Stroud enough time to throw the ball? And can you stop the run? Because last week was a real problem. Can you stop Travis Etienne, who's looked pretty good this season? The fantasy warriors out there, they hate this because the last 3 years with this guy, everyone's like, man, this guy's going to be good. And then he has like 4 good games, and then it's it. That's it. We might be doing that again. Who's to say? Can he stop the run? Can he get open? And can he pass protect for C.J. Stroud? I think you'll be able to do that a little bit more easily against this team than you have the other 2 teams. So we'll see what happens. Something weird's happening. I know what's going to happen. Are we getting a butt fumble? Are we getting a punt fumble? Like, something weird's going to happen.
With all that being said, Stone, I know I picked against the Texans last week. I'm going to pick the Texans this week, just mainly because Christian Kirk's coming back, and I think you can say what you want to say about his injury history, but I think to this Texans team specifically, I think he means a lot to their offense based on just what we've seen, because your wide receiver 2 was Justin Watson the past couple weeks, and the rookies just really haven't been getting involved that much. Jaden Higgins did have a couple plays here this season, but I think Christian Kirk, I think they're going to feature Christian Kirk, and if they do win, it's gonna be he's gonna have a big impact on that.
And maybe play Woody Marks a little bit.
Yeah.
More than 4 touches. That might help. I don't know.
Might help. Yeah.
Just saying. I'll take the Texans as well. I think I still don't trust Jacksonville yet. I know they've looked decent. I know they look fine, but I'm going to go with the Texans. They need a bounce back game. It's kind of a must win. I mean, if you go 0-3 to start the season, it's going to be incredibly difficult to even get close to a wild card, especially in the AFC where there's a lot of good teams. It's going to be tough sledding. So I'm going to take the Texans. Another game at 12 p.m., Rams-Eagles. I feel like this one's just going to be on everyone's TV and nationally televised. It's going to be on Fox or CBS, whatever it is. I would assume Fox. It's NFC. Rams-Eagles, that's a fun one because the Eagles haven't looked spectacular yet. I thought the Rams have looked decent. It's a good matchup. It was a great matchup in the playoffs last season. I'm excited to see it. I'm gonna go Rams. I'm gonna do it. Screw it. I'm gonna take them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they put this game on the 12 o'clock slate.
Mm-hmm. It seems like an afternoon slate.
Yeah, like this feels like a primetime matchup, playoff rematch from last year.
Especially with Sunday Night Football that we have this week, Chiefs Giants. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, people love the Chiefs, right? I guess. I mean, what else can you say about them?
I don't know.
But Rams Eagles. The Eagles haven't looked great so far this season. I know they've lost a few guys and kind of had to replace a few guys, and it's always tough after you win the Super Bowl, just to go through the grind of the season at the beginning. I mean, that's what the term Super Bowl hangover is there for. But I like the Rams in this game just because the Eagles' defense hasn't looked amazing. I think the Chiefs offensively were so poor, like in the receiver department, that they really couldn't make the Eagles' defense pay last week. But I think Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, Devontae Adams, Puka Nakua, Kyron Williams, those guys, I think they're going to find a way to move the ball against this defense. And, you know, hot take, I think Matt Stafford's a top 5 quarterback in this league. And I think he's going to find a way to kind of piece up this defense.
Yeah, I mean, I was low on Puka Nakua coming into the season, fantasy-wise, and he's excelled extremely. He's been awesome. I thought the production might go down a little bit with Devontae Adams there since he's such a great route runner. He finds ways to get open. You got a good quarterback. He's going to find him the ball. Puka Nakua has just been balling out. That's going to be an interesting matchup for that secondary with Puka and Devontae Adams. I think it might be a little bit too much. The Rams can run the ball a little bit consistently there against a tough Eagles defensive line. They'll be able to find holes in the secondary and get passes open. And with the Eagles, we know they can run the ball. If the Rams are stopping the run, then we're looking at having to pass the ball the whole time. And Jalen Hurts doesn't have more than 36 yards passing so far this season in a game. Like, we don't know if the pass game works yet. So it's kind of wait and see on the Eagles. They find a way to win games. That's the problem. And they're at home. That's going to be tough. But I'm going to still take the Rams. It's a fun game. I'm interested to watch. I'll actually get to watch all of these games too because my team playing on Thursday Night Football. Actually, I might be able to watch all the games the rest of the season. I might just be able to put the Dolphins on a small screen and just ignore them the whole time. So
yeah, this game is definitely going to be on my phone, and while we're watching the Texans game on Sunday, so I'm probably not going to be able to give it my full attention. But man, it's a great matchup.
It's a big screen game for me. Moving on to the afternoon slate, we got Broncos Chargers at 3:05 Central Standard Time, God's time zone. Division matchup. Broncos haven't looked spectacular this year. They haven't looked particularly good, I would say, compared to last season. Last season, obviously, they go 10-7. You got Bo Nix. He hasn't looked great yet. Defense is still kind of there, but the Chargers look incredible. It's a big matchup for division early in the season. I like the Chargers, though. They've just been consistent. They can run. They can pass the ball with anyone. They don't even have to run the ball right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, what I saw from the Chargers last week, forget about Justin Herbert. I talked about this guy a couple weeks ago. On defense, Dan Henley is a monster. He's a beast. Whatever other word you want to use for him, he can do everything for your defense. I think he's going to be a problem for Denver. And then as far as the Broncos go, like last week, this defense that was talked up by everybody this offseason, they didn't really look great against Daniel Jones and the Colts. But I'm going to give Daniel Jones and the Colts a lot of credit because I think Shane Steichen has done a wonderful job so far. But that being said, like the Justin Herbert that we've seen the past 2 weeks, it looks like he's finally like becoming that elite player, truly elite quarterback that everybody kind of saw potential in him as. And for me, each week is Justin Herbert watch week, man.
He's good, turns out.
Yeah.
With the Broncos defense, though, you mentioned it, they haven't looked great this year. Obviously, Cam Ward had a few good plays, and they lost to the Colts in week 2. I said it. I don't know if I said it in the previews of division previews and all that kind of stuff, but I mentioned the Dolphins team, either it was 2020 or 2021. They won the turnover battle by a significant margin. I think they led the league in turnovers. The Broncos did that last year. Turnover is luck. Like, you put yourself in good positions in order to catch the ball or get fumbles and all that kind of stuff. And that can happen for a full season. They can win games for you that way. It doesn't usually translate over to the next season. It usually regresses a significant amount. And I think we're seeing that with the Broncos. Like, they don't have the turnover luck. Games are going to be a lot harder because you're not getting short fields or you're not getting the ball when you shouldn't get the ball, all that kind of stuff. So if the Chargers are turning the ball over, it's going to be a fun game. If they're not turning the ball over, I think it's going to be tough sledding for the Broncos.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fun one. Division matchup, week 3. I always enjoy those. It's an afternoon game. I think it's a solid afternoon game. The other afternoon game that I really like, Cowboys-Bears. Are we going to see Caleb Williams that we saw in week 1, or are we going to see what we saw in week 2? Not sure. Hope we see a little bit of week 1 first half, really. And then the Cowboys, can they stop anyone from scoring? I don't know. I'm unsure. Truly. I have no idea. But Cowboys-Bears, 3:25 p.m. It's going to be a really fun one, I think. I think it's going to be high scoring as well. And I think that adds to it. And maybe we're just watching Dak Prescott win the MVP this year. I don't know. just looking at it.
Yeah, the Cowboys defense was awful last week. But they are going up against a quarterback who kind of really hasn't figured it out yet. Caleb Williams, new offense, still figuring it out. He's still showing those tendencies that Bears fans really don't want to see right now out of their franchise quarterback. And I think the Bears have a little bit of dysfunction in their locker room right now. I don't know if you saw this, the comments by Coach Ben Johnson talking about practice. Like they're not locked in on practice.
Huh.
So maybe a little bit of dysfunction, but I'm not going to pick the Bears to win the game, but I do think that Caleb Williams is going to look decent to okay just because Dallas doesn't really have pass rush, and what Caleb Williams really struggles with is, the blitz, and I don't think that's going to be an issue for the Bears. And then on the Cowboys side, they're going to have to find a way to stop somebody, and then offensively, Dak Prescott has been just fucking amazing so far. I mean, I would say that he's kind of kept them afloat so far this season.
Him and
with his
Javonte.
play. And new coaching staff in Dallas, new player in Dallas. Shout out to Jadeveon Clowney. Can Clowney help him get a little bit of pass rush going?
Yeah, we'll see. So you mentioned the practice thing with the Bears. I'm reading Bill Belichick's book right now. I don't remember what it's called. I saw it in the bookstore and I was like, yeah, whatever. It seems more like a leadership thing. I'm going for that. But he mentioned practice in there and how every game and every practice remain the same, even though the schemes may change, the things that you're doing may change, but the practice and the games have to remain the same. You go into it the same way each and every time, but the schemes and the way you practice don't change. Like, if you're not practicing good and you're not practicing well, things usually don't go well for you in the season. Like, the Dolphins' offense was pretty bad in preseason and training camp and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, that's not good because, like, 2 years ago, the offense was just going crazy in preseason and practice and all that kind of stuff, and they're winning every battle, and I was like, okay, we might have an offense, and we did. I mean, Tua led the league in passing, passer rating, all that kind of stuff. When you don't have good practice, you're not going to play well, and if you're not locked in during practice, you're not a good football team. Like, you just don't have players that care enough, I guess, and want to practice and put in the work. And that was a big thing in Bill Belichick's book. He's like, if I saw that, if a player wasn't locked in for a practice or a game, I would just cut them outright. Like, they'd not be on the team anymore. So it's not good for the Bears. Not ideal, especially as a brand new head coach. Like, he kind of came in with what they had. They got a new offensive line a little bit there. They added some weapons, whatever. You kind of just have to deal with what you got on a bad team when you're coming in. You got to come in and revamp it. And if you have a bunch of players that aren't going to listen to you and aren't going to play the way you need to play, you're going to have to revamp the roster again, even though you just drafted a quarterback number 1 overall. It's not good. So we'll see with that. I'm taking the Cowboys here. I trust Dak more than I trust Caleb Williams, and Dak's been really good. I know the first game he had a bunch of drops and all that kind of stuff, didn't have a ton of yards, but Javonte Williams has been really, really good for them, stabilizing the run game for them. I think that's a really important thing, especially against the Bears. Like, if you can run the ball, then you're going to be able to pass the ball all over the place. So I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cowboys too. I think they're going to win by more than 10 points.
You're in our sleeper pick'em league, right?
I am. Yeah, I am.
The line was 1.5 on Tuesday in favor of the Bears. So I don't know what Vegas knows, but
I don't know.
I'm still taking the Cowboys. taking them out.
Yeah,
right?
I'm still taking the Cowboys too.
Last game before we go: Lions, Ravens, Monday Night Football. Probably the best game of the week. Maybe Rams, Eagles. So those are the two. Lions, Ravens.
Top 2 right there.
It's going to be really fun. I think the Lions, we saw last week, 52 points against the Bears at home. They were angry. They played angry. They played well, executed, and all that kind of stuff. The Ravens have played pretty good as well this season. Obviously, you lose that shootout against the Bills, and is what it is. But I love this game. I love it tremendously. It's let us down a couple of times, though. Was it 2 years ago? Last year? Lions-Ravens was a blowout. Ravens killed them. I don't want that to happen again. I need a fun game. I need a shootout is what I need. I don't know who I'm taking though. So you're gonna have to talk about this game for a second.
Yeah, so Jared Goff last week looked way better than he did week one. I think that's a great sign for the Lions because the talk on the Lions was how are they going to look after they lost like pretty much all their coordinators and all their position coaches, pretty much. And I think they'll be okay. Um, Lamar Jackson's on my fantasy team, so I hope Lamar Jackson balls out. I think he's going to. He always does in the regular season. But yeah, I think this game is going to be closer, just because the Ravens' defense is not as good as I thought it was gonna be.
It's like the pass rush and the run game and all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't seem good enough. And then you have two incredible safeties, but your cornerbacks aren't good enough. It's a strange conundrum to be in.
Yeah,
As someone that's watched the Ravens for the last 25 years plus, and they've always had a great defense, this one's probably the worst.
It's crazy because I feel like a lot of people were picking them to be in the Super Bowl this year too.
They were.
Yeah.
So I love this game. I'm going to take the Ravens because it's a night game at home. That is sole reason. If this is a day game, I might be flip-flopping. But it's a night game at home in Baltimore. That is a really fun atmosphere. It appears on TV. I've never been. But I'm going to take the Ravens. I think it's a close one. I think it's kind of a shootout. They're both teams in the 30s there. I think there's a last minute or two score, and then the defense kind of holds up at the end. But I think it's going to be a really fun, entertaining game, and I'm glad we got a good Monday Night Football game this week because last week they were kind of – I mean, the Bucs-Texans game as an objective viewer was fun, but it wasn't great football, you know?
Yeah.
I think this is going to be great football.
Yeah. I think it's going to be high scoring too, and I'm also going to go with the Ravens. But I think after this game, I think we're going to learn a lot more about the Lions and what they're going to be than what the Ravens and what they're going to be. Because I feel like we already know what the Ravens are going to be like. It's a Lamar Jackson-centric offense. Derrick Henry fantasy owners were not happy last week.
Yeah,
you know?
Same.
And with the Lions, I like their two running back stable that they've got over there. And then, I think both offenses are going to find ways to score points. Like, these offenses are just too good.
And I think both defenses are average or worse.
Yeah.
So that's a recipe for a lot of points, which I'm excited about. It might be a long-ass game, but I'm going to be in it. I'm excited for it. It's a great game. Lions-Ravens always has this hype for the last, 3 seasons. They played against each other a few times, and it's kind of let down. I want this game to be great. I need it to be great. It's Monday Night Football. It should be great. So I'm excited about it, but I'm not looking forward to tonight, Thursday, September 18th. It's going to be terrible, but I'm going to watch it regardless. Kush, anything else on Week 3 preview?
So I just want to kind of go through some of the other games and get your thoughts.
Yeah.
Packers, Browns. Do we feel like the Packers are going to blow out the Browns? Or do we think it's going to be closer because of the Browns' defense?
I don't think it'll be a blowout, but it'll be a comfortable win.
Next game, Atlanta versus Carolina.
I thought about putting this on the list, but Carolina's just not good enough.
Yeah, I'm curious to watch Bryce Young.
They lost Robert Hunt is my problem. They lost their best guard for the season, I believe. So I don't know how the run game's going to be without him. He's great in the run game. I don't know how their pass game's going to be. I know guards aren't super important in the pass game, but that's kind of tough for me.
And Kyle Pitts fantasy owners, I'm going to raise my hand. Might start him, might not. Guess we'll have to find out.
I would start him. He's been good this year. Not great, but he's been good, Yeah.
Patriots and Steelers. Do we think the Patriots can make this a game? The Steelers haven't been that impressive on defense.
Yeah, I thought about putting this one on here as well. It's just I have no clue if either of these teams are remotely good. I feel like they're both bad, but they're also potentially both good. And it's they're both so strange because, obviously the Patriots go to Miami last week and they win the game. They get special teams, kickoff return, and all that kind of stuff. Drake May looks great. Bad defense. If the Steelers' defense is actually not good, that's a real problem. And if Aaron Rodgers can't just will you to a win like he did in Week 1, it's not good, not a good recipe for success. But I also have no faith in the Patriots. I don't think they're a good football team right now. I think next year they'll be a lot better. They add a little bit more depth. They add a little bit more talent. end of that roster with Mike Vrabel, they're going to be fine in the future. I just don't think they're a good roster right now, and the Dolphins suck. So I can't take that game and be like, yeah, I know what happens. And then the Raiders, week 1 against the Patriots, it's like, that team's not good either, turns out, and they won against the Patriots. So I don't know what to think about this game. I'm going to take the Steelers. Their Steelers are at home, right?
I think the Patriots are at home.
Oh, Patriots are at home? Then I might take the Patriots just because they're at home.
Yeah. And then speaking of the Raiders, Washington against not Oakland, Las Vegas. I still get that wrong, and I always get LA Chargers and San Diego Chargers wrong. Anyway.
The Los Angeles, Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders.
Exactly. There we go. Is Jaden Daniels playing?
He didn't practice today, so it's not a good sign because if you don't practice
sign.
on Thursday, you're typically not playing the game. So is their backup Jacoby Brissett?
I got to look that up.
Because I believe it's Jacoby Brissett. Washington Commanders roster. Because I don't.
And then while you look that up, the Raiders, goddamn, they got to get a win. If not for their fans, do it for me because I hyped this team up in the offseason, man.
We both did.
We really did.
I don't know what the depth chart is looking like, but I would assume it's Marcus Mariota. So can he do what Geno Smith does? Probably.
Maybe.
Like he can do what he did last week.
Yeah, and then the other thing on the Raiders is they've been really bad at running the ball.
Yeah, it's not good.
Which is crazy because they got that big name running back in the draft, Ashton Genty.
And he's doing everything he can do.
We all thought he was gonna pop off, but hey, Pete Carroll.
We said it. I was like, they're going to be better than what they were last year. The roster is just not anywhere close to being good, and that's the issue. Like, you have no one on defense outside of Max Crosby. You have no one on offense outside of Brock Bowers right now. Maybe Ashton Genty if he had a morsel of blocking. I don't like either of those teams, man. Marcus Mariota versus Geno Smith just screams like I don't want to watch this game in any way, shape, or form.
Speaking of like backup quarterback battles, we have the Bengals and the Vikings.
Yeah, I saw that too. It was like Carson Wentz versus Jake Browning. Count me out. No thanks, PU.
I mean, what time is it? 12. I might tune in just to watch dysfunction in this game.
I'll have Red Zone on
during
screen.
The commercial breaks and all that.
I'll have Red Zone on a screen, so I'll watch. I'll see whenever they pop up, if they ever pop up. Yeah, it's not a bad slate of good games, but it's not a great slate of good games. I think you have 2 exceptional games, and I think the rest of them are like fine. And then the outside of those 5 games that we talk about, they're all bad. That's the problem.
I think injuries have like really kind of taken a toll. Week 3,
It's
especially the quarterback. It's not even a Joe Burrow injury. It's just
everyone.
All positions, defense, offensive line, receiver, quarterback. Injuries suck, man.
And it usually happens in like preseason or training camp. Like you see some players go down and they're going to miss the first 4 or 6 weeks of the season or whatever. They'll be back. It's all happening in season. So like time to adjust it is a week. You get 6 days to prepare for a team with the adjustments that you have to make with the injuries and all that kind of stuff. So it makes the football worse, which sucks, which injuries are going to happen throughout the season for all teams. I get that, but it feels like it's all the major players that are going down and not like a depth guy or it's the middle linebackers, it's the quarterbacks, it's the cornerbacks, it's the tight ends, it's the wide receivers, it's the running backs. Like everyone's getting hurt. That is really important, and you can't get away with it. Like a defensive tackle going down, depending on the defensive tackle, like you can kind of get away with that. But outside of that, it's kind of tough sledding.
Yeah, and then the last thing I want to mention about like the season so far. Tom Brady talks about this all the time. How quarterbacks, just aren't there like they used to be. And I think this season so far we've seen a lot of that. Tua is a great example.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring up the bad news.
I'm not talking about that guy anymore.
But I mean, even as great as Patrick Mahomes is, like, I think the way the league is set up now, offensively, you have to have a lot of weapons, because like gone are the days where you can have like limited weapons on offense, and then, you're just not going to be good just not going to be good enough offensively. So I
I
think
mean, think about the quarterbacks we had growing up. You had Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning won a couple Super Bowls there. He was like top 7 in passing yards when he retired. Like you had him, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees. Like you had just dudes
so
at the
many great
quarterback
guys.
position.
Yeah.
And then we thought we were going into this new era of it, like Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Like now it's just Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson as the best quarterbacks. Like you can't throw Joe Burrow in there because he can't stay healthy. Unfortunately for him, I don't think it's really his fault. Like last year with the arm, whatever, that's one thing. But the leg injuries because your offensive line stinks. That sucks. Like he's done. Justin Herbert is now entering that conversation. He's in that second tier. He could be in the first tier after this year. Like Dak Prescott, same kind of deal. You got good quarterbacks. I just think the great ones that we had 5 great quarterbacks at one time. For Ben Roethlisberger, that's another one. Like and Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre. Like you just had dudes
There were so many
everywhere,
of them.
everywhere. And now it's like we got 2 dudes and like 2 or 4 kind of dudes, and then everybody else sucks. It's like it's bad.
Yeah, I think that's why coaching and offensive coordinator matters so much. It matters so much more in today's game than it did back then. I mean, you can see it with the Colts. Daniel Jones is having a resurgence. You can say what you want about, the teams that they've faced so far, like Miami and then Denver, looking how their defense looked. But I think that's why having an offensive coordinator that is not only creative, innovative on offense is so important, because you see, like, all of these guys on these teams have at least a little bit of talent. I mean, back then you had guys on teams where you're like, that guy does not belong in the NFL. But I think all these quarterbacks belong in the NFL. It's just getting them with the right coach, getting them in the right offense, in the right situation.
I mean, we saw you mentioned it with Tua. Like McDaniel comes in and Tua's good for 2 seasons. Then he can't stay healthy, and then everything just kind of crumbles down for whatever reason. I think it's concussion related. I don't think he can process the same way. But like we saw that with Baker last year with Liam Cohen. He comes in, fixes the mistakes that he had, and Baker's now an elite quarterback. He's in one of those close to the top tiers. Like
Yeah.
he's up there. Jared Goff, same thing. Sean McVay was a really good example. Like he was great for that one season, and then it kind of fell off, and we don't know why that was. But then Ben Johnson comes into Detroit, and he's really good again. So you got to scheme well, you got to coach well, but you also got to play well, and that's also dependent on the players. And yeah, maybe it's defensive season. Maybe we're just looking at defense all over the place, except for the Ravens and the Bills. They're just going to be offense.
Yeah, I think defense and running backs, especially last year, are making a comeback.
Yeah, it's fun. We're going back to old school football. I'm fine with it.
I love it.
It's a little gross. That's it for week 3, though. We'll be back on Monday to record. We'll have that up Monday afternoon. I would say I'm excited about it, but I'm excited about hockey, and I'm excited about college football right now. Hockey starts on Saturday preseason. College football is being really good this year. It's outplaying the NFL right now. College football, I love college football, but I love the NFL way more. I always have. That's the way I was raised. We're watching NFL on Sundays. That's what we do. College football, you could wait until all your chores in the yard were done. Like that's what I had to do. So I didn't watch as much college football growing up. It's been a lot better than it has with the NFL this year. So I'm curious if the NFL can turn that corner and be competitive and have more fun games, more great games like colleges had in the first 3-4 weeks. So we'll see. I'm hoping it's better this week on week 3, but that's it for Play Action Takes. Shout out to Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. We love Zing Zang. Enchilada mix, margarita mix. They got it all over at Zing Zang. Zang responsibly. Shout out to Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. Go watch football there on Sunday. It's the best place to watch it. They got all the TVs. They got all the games. Great wings, great beer, and great people over at Big City Wings. That's it for me and Kush. We'll be back on Monday with another episode of Play Action Takes, Paul Meany's NFL podcast.